Judge Joe Brown had some interesting things to say about Joe Biden and John Legend. Watch this.
So I wanted to get your thoughts on that real quick.
Who is this boy? Who is this boy?
He's a singer, John Legend.
I always thought he was white. I always thought he was white. Anyway, he hadn't paid any damn dues. Let me put it this way. Most of what is wrong with the criminal justice system in the United States of America that's trickled down from the federal level to the state level that negatively impacts blacks and other minorities was started off in 1979, 1981, 1983, 1987, 1991, and 1994, thanks to Joe Biden, Stennis, Eastland, and Byrd. And you can thank them for some of the problems with American criminal law as they negatively impact black folk. This mess about all of these people in jail, first offenders for one rock, you can thank Joe Biden for, with his mess about crack, even though it seems to have settled into his household quite heavily. I heard the lowdown scummy bastard say in front of me, it was in Dover, Delaware. He was on the podium. He said, quote, Negroes are animals and they turn the streets into jungles and they need to be put in zoos where they are safe and can be observed. He said, Negro children are animals and they turn schools into zoos. And I don't want my children going to a school with Negroes in it turned into a zoo. I heard him say that. I saw him when he said it. He's a liar. He had to withdraw from the presidential campaign in 1988 because he lied about his academic career. He got found early to have plagiarized some things that caused his expulsion from an academic institution. He's a piece of urban trailer park trash who's had nothing but government jobs his entire life and has turned out a very rich man because of the bribes, the extortion, and the downright payoffs he has gotten under the table illegally. And there's some things that I saw that I read from the 3 downloaded laptops of his son. There were 3, not one. I interviewed the technician. They are very incriminating, and there is a high probability that what they're after Trump in Florida for, relative to refusal to turn over so-called classified documents.
Now, I agree with Joe, Judge Joe, that John Legend needs to keep quiet on views. He views concerning any political views. He needs to keep quiet on that because he has no political background whatsoever. But I want to do some fact checking. The fact checked is he made a statement that Joe Biden had to withdraw from a uh, political campaign back in 87, I believe he stated. So I have an article here. It says that the 1988 presidential campaign of Joe Biden, a Democratic U.S. Senator from Delaware, began in June 1987. Originally, Biden was regarded as potentially one of the strongest candidates in the field in September 1987. However, reports emerged that he had plagiarized a speech by the British leader of the opposition and Labour Party leader, Neil Kinnock. Other allegations of past law school plagiarism and exaggerating his academic record soon followed, and Biden withdrew from the race later that month. So he did withdraw. He did withdraw. So that was a fact. That really did happen. He also made a statement that one of his family members were on drugs. Well, I'm going to pull up an article here concerning that as well. It says that while President Biden quietly reforms drug policy, his son speaks about addiction on the national stage. So he wrote a tell all biography focused explicitly on his battle with addiction. So, yes, he was on drugs, he was on crack, and oddly enough, he did not go to prison. Was it because of political privilege or was it because of privilege? Who knows? Anywho, that was a fact. His son was on drugs. Now, he also made a statement stating that um, Joe Biden made some serious statements concerning black people. He said they were keep making the streets jungle and the kids will make the schools jungles and things like that. Oddly enough, I looked around, I did my research. I have not seen anything concerning him making those statements. But of course, we know that the media does whatever they're told to do, especially in the political realm. So he could have said these things and but we'll never hear it or see it unless, somebody magically or has it and, for their benefit, it just pop up, it'll just pop up out the blue and we'll hear what he actually said. But my question to Judge Joe is when he made those statements, why you wasn't rah-rahing about it at that time? Why you didn't bust him out at that time? Why you didn't say nothing at that time when he said it? So I'm just, curious as to what are your thoughts? Do you think Joe Biden actually said this? Or do you think that Judge Joe Brown is kind of embellishing a little bit? I mean, I believe he said it, but who knows? But for those of you out there, even with the things that you know about, and you're still advocating for Joe or still supporting him. And I'm speaking of the blacks, you're still supporting him, and you know all the things that he has done, including the fact that he was totally against busing. He was totally against that. Do your research. It's the fact that he was against it. He can say consistently that he wasn't, but he was. Even Kamala Harris had something to say to him about that during their political campaigning. But, you know, do your research and get back to me. Or you can leave a comment and tell me what you think. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think about Joe Biden and his real take on how he feels about black people? I will see you guys soon.